How's it going, guys? Matt here, Code Tech Tutorials. Just wanted to give you the yearly update and say happy holidays to you all. Hope you're having a good one. And I just kind of want to let you know the plans for the channel because I know it seems like it's been a little up in the air this last month or two. And well, I don't really know exactly what to say about that other than it is what it is. And yes, there's been some stress for me involved in me figuring out what I want to do with my life and how to handle things. And it's kind of the kind of stuff that we all go through, I think. But it's kind of taken me by a little bit of a surprise. So I just want to get my plan set in stone and kind of set the expectation for this next upcoming year for the people that follow my channel and me. Because I do really appreciate you guys, and it does mean a lot. And sometimes I feel like I'm not very good at expressing that. All right, so code, yeah. Getting into YouTube was tricky. I did not expect for things to go the way they did. I never even really expected this channel to grow. I don't know really what I expected. I was kind of doing it blindly and just winging it. And I guess where there's a passion, you're going to find an audience. And obviously, I have a passion for all this code and tech stuff, and I think that's never going to go away. So I predict I'll be doing it for the rest of my life in any case. But this next year, I want to start really doing what I set out to do. Because when I started programming, the only reason I really wanted to do it was, well, I guess I had two reasons. I was tired of other people's buggy software, so I just thought that maybe I can contribute and do better. And also, I really wanted to make my own video game. I've had a lot of ideas in the past, and I think it's time. I've made a lot of little small games and stuff, but I don't really have anything that I can show off to like a big name company or something like that, or anything on Steam or anything like that. Just a lot of little demos and a lot of little samples, and I think it's time for me to change that. And yeah, so I'm going to start working on the game Extended Stay that I somewhat talked about in a previous video. And I don't know exactly how it's going to go, but I intend to start putting out stuff for it and start working towards it in this next year. And this whole engine here, my old Ancient Archer engine, which has moved into the private space, that's what this is going to be built to support. So I'm going to build it on my own engine, and this engine's going to be built to support the game I'm making. And I don't know where it's going to go. One of the reasons I decided to make this the future iterations of this engine private is because, well, it's complicated, but basically I don't know where I'm going to take it exactly. And until then, I don't really feel like it's a good idea to just kind of like pull in different directions all the time and not really know. I don't know how to explain it other than that. And also, I guess, one of the bigger things is I'm going to have other libraries attached to it that are to do with this game I'm going to make. And obviously, I don't want to release all that source code and stuff before I even release the game. So I'm trying to figure out what to keep private and what not. But it's a complicated thing. Now, what I thought about doing is just making like a public version of this specifically for the channel. And when I work on it, I can maybe stream it on YouTube or something, and we can also take contributions from other people that watch the channel and want to add in their stuff. Because making a game engine, once you've kind of dove into the main stuff, you can recreate it up to where you are pretty quickly. It's making those incremental advancements to next phases that's hard. But once you have it, you kind of have it permanently. At least that's my take on the whole thing, or kind of what I've realized. So I've got definitely some big steps to make. I still need to finish a lot of different things right now. This is the branch I'm on right now is called Giant ECS Rework. Oh. So currently I'm working in an entity component system, but also I'm working on a few other things too. But as one person, you gotta kind of try to pick a road, stay on it, you finish it, and then go to the next road. But also I have like shadows halfway done, and I have something else halfway done. I can't remember. Oh yeah, I guess the animations are probably a little more than halfway done. And there's a lot of other little things that are just like partially in here, but I don't have a good enough implementation of it yet to really put out there. So me working towards this game in the next year is going to mean a lot of things. And I can tell you what it definitely does mean and what it definitely doesn't mean, but I don't have an exact summary because I'm still figuring things out as I go. It does mean that this engine isn't going away. I'm going to keep working on it. And it also means that I'm going to keep making content, but I don't know how I'm going to make the content. I think I'm going to do kind of a series of shorts about game engines for when I research, because sometimes I'll stay on a topic for a day or two and I'll heavily research it. And by the end of that, I sort of have this nice group of knowledge. And I feel like if I can just put that in a little video for you guys, I feel like it's something that I would have loved to see when I was trying to figure this stuff out originally. It's just some quick snippets of like the core knowledge. So I'm going to try to create a little game engine series of just little quick snippets of core knowledge. I already did one of cameras. That's kind of maybe a sample. Really long, that one, but I want to do that for like a lot of different aspects of game engine as I go, because those are videos I can throw together quickly and not try to distract too much. A lot of the problems I had in the past was that I would make these giant productions of little things, like how to use C++ in Visual Studio or something like that. Like, if you know the knowledge, you can just kind of put it out there. But for me, I felt like I had to make it a big production, and that would make it a lot more watchable. And I think in part that's what helped me grow, but also that started to lead to burnout. And I don't think it would have led to burnout if I like secured finances to get an editor, but that didn't happen. So I was doing the editing, just the whole 9 yards, and it was just too much. And basically what ended up happening last year that I think really drove me to the point of almost quitting was that I found that I was spending a lot more time stressing and worrying about making these videos than actually living my dream of just like being a really good programmer and putting out actual software. Like all the software basically took a back seat, and it was all about this social thing of YouTube, which you might have figured out by now that I don't really get off on the whole social media thing. I don't particularly care how many people follow me or don't follow me and stuff like that. I'm just not that type of person. It's not to say that I don't like it. I mean, it's tricky for me to even get right in my own head. Like, there's a big part of me that doesn't particularly care what other people do. I'm always just kind of focused on my own thing. And it has its advantages, but that also has some downsides too. And I guess I could talk about that briefly. Like, the biggest downside of this mentality is that I hurt a lot of people's feelings, basically, because they get the impression that I don't care about them. And it's not that I don't care about them as a person, because I do. And I want them, I want people to be happy and all that stuff. And I want people to live their dreams. It's just that I don't let other people's actions affect me. I think that's kind of what it comes down to for the most part. It's not 100% true, but in general, once my mind is set on something, I don't really care what other people say to me about that thing. It's like, I'm going to do it no matter what you say because I want to do it. And I always think that other people think like that too. I always think that other people get ideas and do what they want because they want to do it. But that doesn't seem to be true for most other people. And I think, now that I'm putting it out there on the internet, people are probably going to listen and be like, yeah, I'm like that too. But in the people that surround me in my daily life, there's not many like that. Most of them are either kind of in the rat race or just trying to get through the day, stuff like that. And they care a lot about what other people think of them. And they have like high anxiety and stuff. And I don't really have that. I don't have much anxiety. When I do have it, I can squash it real quick. Just by the way I think. I don't really, it's a weird thing to talk about, but this video is getting to be a little bit long. I don't even know if I've covered everything I wanted to cover, but mainly I just kind of wanted to give you guys an idea of where I'm at and my plans going forward. I've just got so many like things on the back burner that I don't know when I'll get to them. You've seen my lists. Sometimes I post them on Patreon or here on the community tab, or you can look at my playlist and see which ones are incomplete. It's basically a lot of stuff that I would love to do, but to find the time is tricky. Like, I might be able to find the time to get the first half of it done. Then when it comes to editing and stuff, well, I'm in a different headspace or I'm working on something else. So I guess I'm just saying, I hope you'll stick with me through this next year. And I really appreciate you guys. So yeah, I always feel awkward asking for people to like and sub, but supposedly you got to say that or you don't really want it. They say if you don't ask, you don't actually want it. But and I do, and I appreciate it. And if you want to go to the extra mile, there's a join button. You can help support the channel financially that way too. But of course, all your interaction means a lot. And I'm going to try to be a little better about comments. I've kind of been ignoring the vast majority of them unless they're from some paid supporter for the last couple months. And I have my reasons, mainly that I was overwhelmed and just mentally was not in a space to get to everybody. So yeah, that's it. Hope you guys have a good one. Peace out.